This is Sanjay Mudnani. I am a storyteller. So why do I call myself a storyteller? So the story goes, and this story is my story, personal story, life story, is that in school I used to love to be on stage. And one fine day, how did this happen was one fine day the class teacher had asked, we were sitting in an auditorium, the school auditorium, and the teacher asked that we want to have a Hindi elocution competition. Who would like to go and speak up on stage? And I just out of curiosity said, okay, let me participate. I went up on stage, and little did I realize that that would be a turning point for me. I loved the stage. I loved speaking to people. I loved sharing ideas. That's when the storyteller in me was born. So that was a God-given gift or a God-given talent that I loved the stage and speaking to audience and sharing my ideas and sharing stories. Fortunately for me, I happened to become a co-founder of Mastek Foundation, a charity. And here I kept on meeting leaders, social leaders. So when I met the social sector leaders, these are the most inspiring people in our country. Each one of them, their life itself is a powerful story. And these stories inspired me. And what am I doing now is I'm sharing this inspiration that I got from these leaders with you. And why am I sharing these stories with you? Because I think there's a lot to learn from these social sector leaders, these inspirational stories in life. It's very powerful to learn, this same thing if you're planning your career, if you're starting a business. These are powerful lessons because these are people who are working with very limited resources, very difficult situations and conditions, and yet producing outcomes that are really, outstanding. They're transforming people's lives. Isn't that what business is finally supposed to do with the product or service that you're coming up? Transform people's lives with your product or services. That's what you do in business, right? And here are social leaders, in the corporate world, in the leadership world, what we think is we have limited resources, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties, but imagine here people without resources doing the same. So each story is that I'm going to share is going to have a flavor of some of the lessons that I picked up which are relevant for the business world, they're relevant for what people are doing, and they're relevant for life. So let me start with one of the first stories that, this is one story that's really impacted me a lot. And this is a story of one person called Adhik Kadam. Adhik Kadam is a Hindu boy, Hindu Brahmin boy from Pune. He travels to Kashmir on a study tour, and this is at the height of terrorism in the country, in that particular area of the country, in Kashmir, and he's traveling to Kashmir for study tour. And one of the things that he finds is that a lot of the children out there are impacted the most by this terrorism activity which is happening. Many of them are orphans, and many of them are girls. It's very difficult for a girl child in such a situation, in a conflict situation, and when they're orphans. He saw that difficult situation. He came back to Pune, but this image kept on disturbing him. So what did he do? He decided to give up whatever he was doing and go into Kashmir, go into a place called Kupwara, which is on the border of Pakistan. Completely Muslim place. He is the only Hindu guy there, and he starts building an orphanage. Today that orphanage takes care of more than 300 girl children. He is giving them a better life. He is educating them. He is taking care of them. He's almost like their father. And he's doing this in a place which is completely Muslim. He's the only Hindu guy in that particular area. He has been kidnapped by terrorists multiple times. There is a time when actually a gun was put on his head and they were almost going to kill him, and they asked him to kneel down and do his last prayers. But somehow, God's intervention for the work that he was doing, he was let go. He has been picked up by the other side, by the government side also, by the agencies, because he keeps on letting, these terrorists keep on leaving him every time, whenever they, catch him. So they keep on wondering why the hell is that happening. So they keep on also picking up. He keeps on facing this all the while. There is always a threat to his life. And so when I met Adhik Kadam, I asked him this question: Adhik, aren't you worried about your life? And he gave me a very, simple answer, and he said, Sanjay, I'm already dead. And I was like kind of wondering, what does he mean? It was a spiritual answer. But he also said, Sanjay, the cause is so big for me. These children mean so much to me that my life does not matter. I have to do whatever I can do for them. It is the work that I'm doing for these children. It is God's work. I have to do it. And that kind of a passion, or that kind of, purpose driven life. Now imagine we have this construct, in the corporate world, which, we have heard this term called, thank God it is Friday. And as the Sunday starts coming in, many people have this kind of a, phrase which is called, oh God, tomorrow is Monday. Now imagine, look at Adhik, very limited resources. A guy is risking his life every time he's out there. And still the cause and the purpose is so calling, and the kind of, what he wants to do and the kind of work that he's doing to serve those children is such a higher picture for him that he is willing to sacrifice his life in the line if it is called for. So the question that I ask every person is, do you have that kind of a purpose or that kind of a calling when you are doing whatever you're doing in life? Because if you have that kind of a calling, you will never have this kind of thing that, thank God it is Friday. It is criminal to be just into a 9 to 5. You need to find out that what is that your higher purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. Even for every business that you get into, everything that you're doing, finally at the end of a day, you're serving some customer. At the end of the side, on the other side is a customer. Is your product, is your service making a difference? This is very relevant to business. So this lesson that I pick up from Adhik, that is your purpose so high that you're willing to even risk your life on the line. The same thing would apply to people. When you're going into a job, when you're doing a business, you're starting a business, whatever you're doing, it's not just the money that you're working for, because if you're just working for the paycheck, it's going to be a life that's a struggle. It's every month is a survival, every week is a survival. It's every day when 5 o'clock comes in, you want to go home. Then you're spending almost 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours of your life daily. Out of your waking hours, that is huge percentage of your time is going at work, at what you're doing. Do you have a higher purpose? Do you have a calling? You have to connect with that higher purpose of whatever you're doing. Your product or service is finally impacting someone. It is making a difference to someone. At the end of the day, for any business, for any marketing, for any leadership, there is a customer on the other side. The purpose of existence, as Gandhi said, is your customer. He is the one who is paying you the money. You exist because of him. Are you doing something that's serving the world, is making the world a better place? Are you doing something which is making the life for your customer better? So there is a purpose in everything that you are doing. Find that purpose, find that calling in what you're doing, and you will find that your life changes. It will no longer be a 9 to 5. It will no longer be, thank God it is Friday. And every day will be a lovely day. Friends, I will keep on sharing such stories with you. There are lots of stories that I have. Every story has a different kind of a message. You might pick up some different message from each of these stories that I share with you. But whatever message that you pick up, if you feel there's a different message that you're getting from this, please do share in the comments. That will be good for everybody to know. Maybe the next time when I'm doing my video, I will share it with other people. Do subscribe to my channel. Keep on watching the videos that I keep on doing. I'm out here, as I said, to share stories that inspire, share stories that will make a difference in the world, share stories that will make the corporate world a better place, share stories which will make life itself more meaningful for people. Thank you. This is Sanjay Mudnani.